This is Bleed TV, the only podcast for today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
We're down cash tonight. Had something pop up, and we're a day behind. We apologize. Had some personal stuff come out that was unavoidable, but we want to get these guys out for you. Tonight is Mayans M.C. This was the 6th episode with the title of Gato Mice?
Meese.
M-I-S. Which I know that Gato represented the cat, which was, I will say, less CG.
Not CG.
There was technically one scene where there was a CG cat, but it was so quick and you wouldn't even recognize it.
Well, it ain't got shit on how terrible one CG part of this was. So we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
But the cat stuff was the best animal yet so far of all of them. I'll go that route.
Yes, just because it was a real cat most of the time.
It was real. Well, Cash gave us a thought, and I'll tell him about that. But what was your opinion of the episode of this one?
Mostly okay. I mean, yeah. I didn't have a lot of big troubles with this. I think my favorite stuff is the double crossing. Yeah,
like this episode actually showed that Adelita has got some good skills. Other than just having a kill squad of kids, we actually got some things. I like that we get the unravel, the turn. I like that she set the Miguel up. I like that all these things are in place. And which, don't get me wrong, I was fully expecting something because it was just a little too easy, but I think they did really good the way they set it up. I thought the episode was solid. To me, it was an improvement. A couple little things that I'm like, okay, you really didn't think that through to make this a finish, or, like you said, there's a CG part that's like, oh my God. But the rest of that, I thought the episode was real strong.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, most of the stuff, very little issue with. Like you said, I love the Adelita double crossing part. I think that was extremely well done. Some of the stuff with Coco and her daughter, I'm a little on. And then the stuff with Pop and the federal agent. That stuff is good. I mean, we always keep saying, anytime Pop's on the screen, it's usually a pretty good scene. There was a couple of things I didn't understand at the very end of it, but
yeah, well, needless to say, I was somewhat confused during most of the conversation between the two. If you want to go ahead and just dive into,
let's just knock this scene out. Yeah,
to me, the DEA guy shows up. He's sitting on the porch. He's drunk. He's drinking. Pops accepts him into the house. They start talking, reminiscing over pictures. He lets him know things. You learn that that he had a woman that he loved with his firstborn. Did not confirm that was Angel. Now, the DEA guy said that was Angel, but Pops did not confirm that. Because there is a theory going around that Angel is not Pops' kid. There's that going on. I don't think there's enough information to say yay or nay, but this didn't cinch the deal, per se.
And he does say our first son. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little vague. I'm just highlighting that there's a lot of people saying one thing to another.
What I'll say is, all this stuff was good to me. Like I like
the dialogue was good,
but it didn't move the needle at all.
No,
honestly, it was just kind of to set up that this federal agent's having issues with his job. Like he's not agreeing with the tactics that his SAC officer is telling him to do.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so we're seeing this guy has even more heart than we originally thought.
Well, the reality is they're both in the same hard predicament.
Both in the same position.
Pops is in the same position. He's going to do whatever he's got to do to protect his family. DA's got to do what he's got to do to protect his job and get things done, but he also has a conscience and everything. So, I mean, it's like, what do you do? What do you do? And so I like their dynamic. The guy who plays DEA, he improved a lot for me when it came to me having this full dialogue, showing things.
I agree.
So these two worked very well. Now, I did think it was very strange that he ends up staying with him the whole day, passes out on the couch and puts a damn blanket on him. To me, I was like, okay, that's a little much.
I just think it's dangerous.
Well, yeah, to me, you staying there with him and to get seen, that's into your job. That's into your career, the whole 9 yards.
Well, not to mention it's the end of the deal because Pops is going to get murdered, and Easy's going to get murdered, and Angel's going to get murdered because they're rats. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, at least they're going to be presumed
It's dangerous
rats.
for both.
What was weird to me was him sitting on the front porch with that shotgun. Why?
I guess, in the past episodes, we've seen him always looking over his shoulder, checking for people tailing him, different things like that. I guess that's just supposed to be a scene because, they had that montage of everybody sitting there and thinking about life, and that was just another one.
Just have him sit on the porch. There was no reason for him to have the double barrel.
I guess that's his cuddle buddy.
I just don't understand. I didn't understand it. I really just didn't understand that part. I mean, whatever. Okay.
It sticks out.
It was a decision made, fine, whatever. I just didn't understand it at all.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. I hear you.
Let's knock out Coco stuff.
Okay, let's knock out Coco. All right. Coco, this is the biggest episode of Coco so far, by far. We get a lot of good dialogue. He's carrying the scene. Did you notice how bad his nose is broken? This episode, highlighted that his nose literally has a 45-degree angle pointing at one cheek versus the other. I always thought, he's just an eccentric-looking fella, but this episode, wow. I mean, wow.
I always get drawn to his ratty facial hair. I don't know why. That I don't pay attention to his face, at least his nose, that much. But I knew what you're talking about. The one issue I'm having with Coco's character right now is how guilty he always looks and talks.
Oh yeah, he's always got something on him.
When he's around Bishop, it's like he even comes off to me like he's holding in secrets and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
which he is holding a secret about his daughter and stuff like that. But knowing what he knows and what role he's playing with the rebels and stuff, it's like he comes off looking so guilty constantly.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
And he's the only one.
Do you think it's on purpose because they suspect him, and so they want to make sure they continue that kind of look?
No,
or do you think it's just his demeanor?
No, because later on, when Angel is told about the conversation you overheard, they freak. I think it's kind of I guess we always call it ham-fisted or hammy.
Yes. That
it's just written into his character to look like this, you know what I'm saying? And to act this way, to make himself look guilty because, they're,
perception's
looking
real.
for a mole.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
real.
So it's so that stuff kind of bothers me a little bit because he's such a goofy guy in all the other episodes and stuff until he gets around Bishop. And then he acts just guilty always.
Mm-hmm.
So that bothers me a little bit because he makes himself look like the mole. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right. Now, I do like the dialogue he had with his daughter where he's like, we don't have to be your dad. I don't have to be your dad, or so on. This,
No, not your brother, your dad, your friend, whatever.
So on. But we're going to make some deals. We're going to, like that. And I was thinking, no more effing porn,
Yeah, no more porn.
And she's like, all right, But I liked all that stuff. I thought the girl, like Cash talked to us earlier, I thought the daughter pulled it off well. I think she carried pretty good. There was a part or two that was like, but I don't think necessarily it was her fault. I think some of the stuff they wrote for her to do or say didn't translate well for me.
It's not her dialogue that bugs me. It's just her her demeanor she puts on.
Her cold dead stare for everything she says.
Yes, she's robotic.
She has zero emotional response,
which I think they did on purpose to make it seem like, oh, she's never had somebody, so she has no emotions. She's basically psychotic in a way, you know what I'm saying? But
she has the coldest dead stare.
Weird. And then to just pull her shirt off and show the bruises, marks on there and stuff like that, I'm like, you should have just popped the trunk. That's the real problem you have. Not that you've been hit.
Yeah.
It's like, and the thing is, she's supposed to be 16 years old.
Or 14? Which one is it?
I think it's 16.
Okay. Either way,
don't have a 16-year-old take her shirt off in the show.
Yeah, it's a much.
It's just it's a little tone deaf, first off. And then the other part is this is I don't know, it's just not necessary. It would have been easy for her to just pull her hair aside and she'd have some strangle marks.
Yeah. See, that's funny you said that. There was some people on social media that were bouncing back and forth saying her bruising was very random. In the weirdest spots. One was over the breast, one was around the stomach. There was a little bit around on the neck. Nothing looked like something that was distinctive.
Well, the chest looks weird. The throat and the one that's under a ribcage looks like a punch.
Right. But
whatever.
I mean, there were some people they just kind of. Again, I think a lot of people were in shock value because she just up and takes her shirt off.
Right. Well, that's what they did. They have one scene with her taking her shirt off. And then they have another scene with her coming outside with Easy has his shirt off for whatever reason.
Well, you got to show his muscles at least every episode.
I understand, but what I'm just saying is come on, guys.
That's heavy-handed.
It's just so heavy-handed. And she's just eyeballing him the whole time and stuff like that. And Coco's like, it's never going to happen. I'm like, come on, man. Like all this stuff is cheesy to me.
Yeah.
And unnecessary. You have a emotionless murderer on your hands, and she's playing it robotic like you would to somebody that doesn't have the empathy.
Yeah, like she has zero concern, worry, anything like that she's killed a person and it's in the trunk of a vehicle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's not over there freaking out. What am I going to do?
Unless
How
you
would a
stole
normal
her.
16-year-old act if I've just put a screwdriver through somebody's throat and they're dead in the trunk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she just has this cold dead stare. And again, all right, what kind of life has she had? What this, that, or so on? I get all that. But a little bit of that's like, okay.
But this is a nature versus nurture thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like she wasn't born, or maybe she was born a psycho or, a sociopath.
Yeah.
She doesn't have empathy, obviously. Or that could have been, nurtured or unnurtured into her because she didn't have anybody caring about her.
Right.
And she was lonely and being alone and stuff, so.
Well, considering that she stabs another individual in the episode, I think we can pretty much typecast what kind of character she's going to be.
Yeah, she's like,
she has zero conscience.
Sociopath. I mean, that's just the way it is. So.
That's what it is.
So we'll see.
All right, so this is one of the big things that bothered me about the episode, just because it's just not realistic, is that we've got a body in the back of the trunk, and she's like, and they ask the obvious question, how did you get this big fella in the back of a car? Okay. Man, this was a huge debate last night. Not last night when we were watching it. Was it 2 nights ago? Man, there are people like, well, if you lever. Let me go ahead and tell you something. My wife has a 98-year-old grandfather, and he fell the other day, and I had to go over and help pick him up, and that wasn't even dead weight. And I'm a big old guy, and let me tell you, it took everything I had to get him, and he still had to help to get up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This, what do you think, 115-pound, 16-year-old is going to roll a 200-pound plus, trucker into the back of the Buick? I don't know. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it. No way.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's just no way he ends up in that trunk. I mean, then there was somebody like, well, if she stabbed him while he was in the front seat, and then she just opened the door with the car pulled up right beside it, maybe he rolled off into the trunk. And I'm like, man, that's a huge bridge you're asking to cross.
Well, and with his door open and the trunk open and backing up to the spot, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things wrong with that.
You can't get that close, I don't think, and stuff. No, it's just a lot of this stuff is kind of silly to me.
Mm-hmm.
To put the two guys stopping Easy from stealing the truck and immediately fight him.
Call him Padre?
Yeah.
Or, of course, got to have some kind of slang.
Or Pedro or something.
Yeah, something derogatory.
Yeah, what'd they call it? Jose.
Yeah, Jose.
And then they got a fight, of course, and of course it's the two evil white men that are doing it. And then, of course, she has to stab one of them with another screwdriver, which I like this line. What is it with you and screwdrivers?
Yeah.
That's all good and so.
I didn't kill him.
I just think a lot of this stuff is kind of generic.
Well, I think this whole thing was played out. Like, how, I think we have an episode, and how do we make this more interesting to lead to something more than it is? And just having two people randomly show up that happen to know who this truck driver is in his truck.
I don't think they did.
Or they're just saying that he thinks
they're just saying it ain't your truck, Jose.
All right.
They think he's about to boost the truck. That's what they think. But my thing is I know I've seen hundreds of Latin truck drivers.
Yeah, not to mention, we're in Southern California.
You're on the border.
Right.
I think there's probably Latin truck drivers down there.
If not the majority.
I mean, it's very possible.
So
we're just talking about two evil racist dudes.
Pretty much.
And
it's just
for them to not call the police because they're not the kind of guys that want cops involved.
Right. It just was all cliche.
Huh? Dude's got a screwdriver stabbed in his back.
Yeah, really. I think he's going to say he was assaulted.
You think he was stealing the truck? Why wouldn't you call the cops? I was like, come on, man. Some of the stuff they decide to get from A to B on
exactly
makes my brain hurt.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Or my eyes roll out of the back of my skull.
So, of course, They get Angel to come over and help. Meet at the pit, whatever you want to call it. They have this cool little line like, "Hey,
Tunnel of Death.
Can you take her now? Like
need a
your
break.
turn. Yeah, I need a break."
Yeah.
I was laughing pretty
Tag
good there,
out.
And so he's giving her a ride, and of course, Easy's driving the car, and a police officer sees it, pulls over. Turns around, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Grandma doesn't know I have that car, so it's stolen." And so, of course, Easy. Now, I love the realism of you wait till the officer gets out of the vehicle, and then you take off. Him just going. I was like, okay. But all right, so this Buick's rocking now. Easy's got some skills in the car. Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought the chase scene was solid. I liked how they did some cinematography and like that. I did not care for how it ended. That's the only thing. Because let me tell you something. There are two parts. And my wife was sitting there watching me with it, and she laughed as much as I did because there are two scenes where that Buick is going over dirt. Okay, one was in the when they're in the arbor, the tree place. Like, it shows him turn out of the trees, and this is dirt now, and you hear tires squeal on pavement. And I mean, like, loud here at squeal on pavement.
I didn't even pick it up.
I mean, like, Alicia and I were like, huh? Whoa. I rewound that, and I was like, I was like, no, they did not just do that. And sure enough, I was like, I'm going to rewind this whole thing. And sure enough, there was another part where they threw in the asphalt
squealing
tire squealing on the dirt. I was like, oh
no.
It was, oh my God, it was bad.
Oh no.
So, like I said, you missed it. So, I mean, it's just, it would just made my ass laugh because I was like, all right, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cash brought this to a point. I'll give him credit on this. They get into this corn stalks. They're able to run this officer into the water valve. Okay.
Yeah.
He pulls over next to another one, throws the hose into the cab of the car, turns the water on, and runs. Okay. Now, I immediately do that. I'm like, okay, so he's doing this to cleanse the car of fingerprints. And just like Cash thought and just like I thought, I was like, well, what about them prints all over the trunk? And, the prints all inside the car.
Outside of the vehicle.
And on the door handle you closed and everywhere else, the mirror you adjusted and, this, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
They literally even zoomed in on him pulling the door handles.
Right.
So I'm like, what are we doing here, guys?
So for them to have the mindset afterwards, like, we're clear, just baffles me.
Oh, not to mention he's only 30 yards from the car inside the corn.
Yeah, now I did like the aerial shot. That was pretty cool of him hiding in there and the camera zooming up.
It's
I thought
cool.
that was cool as hell.
The really cool shot was him coming underneath the overpass.
Yes.
With the cars going by and stuff. I almost thought it was CG at first, but it was actually just a really clean HD camera angle of it and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought most of this was cool. It's just some of it's like, come on, dude, it's 2018. Fingerprint technology and all this stuff.
Come on, man. While you were hooked up, you watched CSI. It's been out since 2000.
They'll get you. And I wish he wouldn't have put his driver's side window down, where the water's going to leak out right there. That would have been cool if he filled it up.
But yeah, I mean, like I was like, oh, don't.
Most of this I have no bitching to do about it. I just little stuff that happens in everything.
Yeah,
it's not just
we can always find a mistake.
This happens in a lot of shows. It was cool to see it. I always wonder where guys get driving skill from, especially somebody that went from being in high school,
Stanford potential
to prison, only to come out. It's still a prospect, so he hasn't been out very long.
Right.
But he has skills behind the wheel.
He does. Now, I am happy to say it seems like I am right, that I guessed it, that the guy he's chasing with the gun is the one that maybe killed his mother in the deli.
Definitely, yes.
So I was pumping my fist there. I will take complete credit from both of you, even though Cash is not here, which I wish you would love. But anyway.
I don't think I ever disagreed with you.
Trying to own the moment here. Anyway, so we get that little tidbit. You see he's got a gun. You see that he's looking for this sticker. We have Seagal vision of the Wildcats.
But he hits a car that doesn't have the sticker. If you look at the back glass of this car and everything like that, I didn't see a sticker. So I don't know if he's like just seeing red and not realizing or something. I don't know. But whatever, Now it makes more sense now, like how it led.
Things have added up.
How it led to the situation. We'll see how the rest of the flashback comes probably next episode or whatever. But
there's no doubt. There's no doubt there. But all right. Well, you want to go move over to the Adelita stuff or the Glendo?
That's the rest of it, right? So,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We had a couple like minor things. Like I said, Bishop saying stay on Coco and Angel for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, and like Bishop's talking to Chucky about, who this and who's that and
Yeah.
family, and Chucky's not really ratting, but that, of course, Prospect's able to hear this and
Yeah.
realize that, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get all that.
And Angel goes to see Aunt Alita after all that stuff.
He wants to know. He wants to be
Wants
a part
to know
of it.
everything.
Correct.
So we still don't know what that is yet, though.
Yeah, no, they still haven't shown us.
She is getting a bunch of money donated from all these people, it looks like.
Yeah. What, did she sell the dope? Like that $50K, was that for part of the dope?
No. Remember, the ex-military guys are selling the dope and paying her for it. This was something else. This was her, like, regions of people
Donations.
that were, I guess, donating money in or giving money for some cause that she's trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, it's not real clear, but I give you that. And so, all right, she's writing down the coordinates on this map or this piece of paper in the beginning. To me, I immediately said, this is too easy.
Yeah, no, I
I
thought
caught
the
this
same thing.
immediately.
And the reason I say that mostly is because she makes that phone call and she says, I know everything. And it's like all this stuff just adds up and stuff. Like, they're aware the kid is there and is doing something. She left a piece of paper laying there with the most important information there is on it.
Here's the thing about it. She wrote those coordinates, and they were some long coordinates. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not the easiest to remember, but she did. And
well, he wrote them down.
But yeah, and so the reality of it is that, of course, he's in the tent.
Yes,
I mean, there was, like I said, not so much heavy-handed, but I think they were just letting us know you needed the foundation before they built this house.
Yeah.
And so they set this whole plan in motion. They contact Galindo. Now, the part I did have a part of this is that is anybody else struggling with the idea that Emily is just so in deep now and making decisions immediately? I mean, she's talking to the advisor like, this is how we're going to roll. You know what I mean? Like, are you getting that vibe?
I didn't see that this episode. What we got was they have made up. They have made up. Before they find out about they're getting their son back. They have made up after the brutal sex scene from last week. That now they're good. They're talking to each other again. And now she's looking into the deals and stuff. And she doesn't seem like she's trying to call any shots, but just wants to know whether or not they can pull out of the deal and everything.
I don't know. To me, it seemed like it's a touch much of her being involved.
It's just quick.
It's very.
So, but we don't know. We still don't really know how long they've been together and stuff like that. Like, she's been around long enough.
The call comes in. You come across the border alone.
7 million pesos.
7 million. And the kid, and wait. And of course, you get a phone call after he waits a long period of time, and grabs the kid's in the back of a car. You know what I mean? So of course he goes gets the kid, and he's very excited. Wraps him up in the blanket. And I didn't see the blanket thing, but
I did not see that coming. Honestly, no bullshit. I thought there was gonna be a car bomb. It was gonna waste them both, and it was gonna turn Emily into a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought Galindo was going to die right here.
I didn't think so because I think Galindo's got to fall for the rebellion to have, a success. Does that make sense? Just car bombing the head guy, that doesn't end the cartel. You know what I mean? That just means the next one comes up.
Do we think the rebels and the cartel stuff continues after this season?
Do I say I hope not?
I hope not.
Yeah, because what I did like about I hate compared to Sons of Anarchy is that we moved on to something different as the antagonist of the season.
New antagonist, season by season,
and
or even if the antagonist was within the club battle,
correct,
that's still fine.
Well, I think they introduced a new antagonist.
Well, obviously, but
at the end,
But I'm just saying, I have a feeling after this season's over, I'm going to have my fill of the cartel stuff.
Yeah, like I don't see how Emily maintains a character going into season 2, 3, and so on unless the cartel stuff is over or she's out of it.
That's the thing. I think Emily becomes the new Tara in a way, because remember, Tara was out in a way.
Right.
And she was pulled into the club for Jackson having another kid. And
but I don't want that to happen again.
I don't either. But
dare I say that the Emily and Galindo and all that stuff needs to go away. I mean, I don't want, I hate to lose the actress that I saw him, but if she leaves that and then becomes basically Easy's woman, it's like Tara 2.0.
I agree. I agree completely. That's why I almost feel like they're heading in a direction more of Emily taking over. You know what I'm saying?
Good Lord.
Which I think would be terrible.
It would be awful. And I just don't think it's realistic.
And I don't either. And I don't know, man. I'm concerned because the club stuff is so tied in with the Rebel situation. And it's a clear split. It's like 4 on this side and 4 on this side.
You're going to have to choose sides.
Right. And the thing is, though, it's not like Bishop is going to be... I'm talking about by the rest of them. Think about Alvarez.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the rest of the club. They're not going to side with Angel and them.
No, because they went outside what was expected of the club.
Right. So you tell me how there's a future for the club led by Angel and Coco and them. How is it even possible? I mean, is this even going to be a Mayans show after this? I mean, like, what did they do?
It's a great question. It's going to be very interesting to see where they go with this.
I mean, we got a little off topic here. I mean, Galindo gets the son back.
He does, and then, of course, it gets pulled by the border agent.
And you could tell the female border agent that comes and gets her.
It was part of the rebellion.
It's part of the rebellion, obviously.
And, of course, they immediately know to cut into the blanket, and, there's dope there, and I want my attorney, and,
yeah.
And the whole 9 yards. And so I just... All right, my wife said this, and I want to know your opinion. She said, if you're the head of the effing cartel, why is it just them 4 standing out there and no one else?
What do you mean them 4?
Well, Galindo's inside the room because he's just been busted with dope. And it's Emily, his mother, and the advisor. That's it.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I get it that he sent Nestor and all those guys to the location, but still,
you're the whole kill team. Exactly, it shouldn't be at least.
This is the head of the cartel. I know I've harped on this several episodes, but why is the wife and them not have protection out there? I mean, it just seems so thin. I don't get it. You come alone, yet the 4 of them are over there.
Well, that's the thing is,
I mean.
You can come alone. He came across the border alone. But the other ones should be surrounded by black suits,
Yeah, exactly. There should be cars everywhere. Because this is a major moment. His life is in danger. The baby's life's in danger.
Yeah, he kisses everybody goodbye like it's possible he could die on the other side.
To me, that's what my wife and I were just looking at each other like, the advisor, all them, I mean, like, this is an opportunity. You separated the head guy from the other half. Yeah. Of things that are important to him. I mean, like, there was so many opportunities for this scene that were so good. I just was like, okay, we're missing this part that makes it seem like this is the real cartel, if that makes sense.
And how long was this baby sitting in this hot car?
Yeah, really, because it made it seem like he was sitting out there for hours.
I don't approve if that's the
case. So you see a shot of Galindo sitting, sweating in a jail cell, and to me, that's another thing, like. Do you think the criminals on the border would know what Galindo looks like? Do you think border agents would really, arrest the head of a cartel?
My thing is that
you realize who you're effing with.
90% of people in this area are in fear of the cartel. And they don't show that anymore.
No.
He's just like another guy, kind of in a way. Suit. When you watch a lot of shows or movies that you really like, and you like the cartel lead character and stuff like that, they walk around with a swagger
of untouchableness,
of untouchable, invincible. Like, do you realize you just say the wrong words to me,
and your family's gone?
Your family tree is uprooted. Like, you'll be wiped from
Erased.
the map. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So anytime you see people like, slinging their balls around near them and stuff like that, it's like, give me the blanket,
Yeah.
hand them over, all that, any of that kind of crap. I'm like, y'all are taking all of your lives in your own hands,
Exactly.
as far as I'm concerned. But that's just not the character they've created.
They have not.
He's
man.
kind of meek in those kind of ways. They try to make him seem mean as hell when he's like, slaughter all of them as soon as I have my child in my hands, which is fine. I think that's cool.
But that's what the cartel leader should do.
Exactly.
That fits what you are.
But they play fast and loose with this character,
Man,
with
do
him
they.
having empathy and then slaughter everyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a wavy balance they're trying to keep, and I don't know.
I'm sorry. It doesn't match. I mean, when you think about every good show and every good movie that has a cartel element that carries the weight, and this one doesn't. It's borderline.
We just don't feel any fear.
No, like Galindo, who cares? That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like if somebody does something wrong, disrespect you, five bodies hanging on an overpass because they did something wrong, and that's his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, people realize you just don't you dare mess with the cartel.
The taco truck driver,
Right?
he's burned with his son in the middle of the
And made an
street.
example of. To me,
That should be the way he plays most of the time.
right. Like you said a second ago, he could look at both border patrols and goes, "I want my attorney, and I hope you know what you're doing
Yeah.
because I know what this is.
Please, before this continues,
Consider your families
consider everything. The mistake
that you're about to say,
You know.
you're about to do. Yeah, I don't walk out of here with my son. This could be your last moments.
I mean, it should have been like, please think wisely about what you're about to do.
And decisions you make.
I need to leave with my son.
That right there would make that scene carry like he's the effing cartel leader.
There's,
And you better respect who I am.
this is not even a cartel leader, but it's just a guy that's so terrifying anyway. But No Country for Old Men. It's so simple. When he walked into that gas station or whatever like that, and he just looks at that guy and he goes, "What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?" Mm-hmm. And that guy's like, "Well, I need to know the stakes and stuff."
But that guy's shitting his britches because he realized this is serious.
That is a horrific human being.
Correct.
Like, terrifying human being. And you feel it. You feel it,
The
man.
tension is there. You're making a life decision.
Just in a look, he's terrifying. And you just don't get that with Galindo. No. He's too clean.
Not
He's too,
even
like...
close. Well, he doesn't even have the dialogue to even translate it.
So, it's like I know what you were going for, but... I don't feel any fear.
Wah, wah.
And of course, the coordinates were phonies to a building
Within eyesight.
within view of the binoculars to see him go there to prove to them that they knew who the rat was.
Yeah, we knew the mole.
The little boy.
Dude, how brutal to see the girl just shove him off into the windows.
Okay.
Nasty. I mean, it was,
All this was good. I love what she said. We would have loved you. Like,
yeah, it was
loved
cold,
you.
man.
And she, then Minnie Mouse, or Mouse is what they call her, or
Mouse,
whatever.
yeah.
She's like, "You lied to me. I thought you were my friend." And then shoves him. And I was like, "Well, this is dark, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is good stuff." Up until they show his body on the glass.
And his arm is
CGR
is turned the wrong way. Yes, I saw that.
with this red line going across it. And then it's like folded in some strange direction. Let me go ahead and tell you. This kid doesn't fall more than 3 stories.
No, it's 20 feet tops.
And he hit some glass. Fine.
He hit some window pane, like that. He did not have
You
broken
don't-
limbs
Deform your body
on that.
from something that, first off, gives. It gives.
Yeah, his
Now, if you
arm
would've-
was like, he fell from 60 feet.
If he had landed on a concrete pillar, that would have folded him like a lawn chair the wrong way.
Yeah.
Fine.
But he wouldn't have done his arm that way.
He landed on a pile of glass. He would just fall in the glass. Why is his arm?
The pretzel man.
I mean, I was horrified at the scene.
Yeah.
You know, it was all so good.
Yeah. I mean, you take his arm away. This was a brutal.
You take his
Let me
arm
tell you
away,
that
fine.
Adelita is more of a cartel leader.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Okay. How many people has Adelita killed?
I think she's had to do what she's got to do. I mean, you think about it. Her kill squad is taking care of business like it's supposed to. Her
I'm just
own
asking.
kid just takes out other kids. I mean,
You got the cartel. We've seen them kill 4 people.
the big Samoan, the father and son,
That's 3. And the nun.
and the nun, which we didn't get to see that, but yeah, we know they killed him.
We know his, whatever
Right.
his name.
But Adelita's crew has come in and killed federales, investigators. I mean, mowing them down.
Anybody gets close.
You
Or,
know,
or causes the problem.
And then when you find out you're the mole, I blamed you.
Take a short walk up a, or a long walk up a short bridge. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, she's the
more,
scarier one now.
She is. She is. I'm with you, man. I'm 100%.
So what I'm asking though is, okay, she's not a drug cartel killing people because they're, messing up the drug trade, but she is killing people.
She's taking care of business. Rebellion has casualties.
I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying, she's going about it some eye for an eye business here.
Yeah. I know that.
I don't think she's not a baby murderer. I don't think she wasn't going to kill
No, she went.
kill the baby or nothing like that. But throwing this little, 12-year-old kid off a rooftop, maybe 9, 10-year-old kid even.
It was pretty brutal.
That's pretty brutal stuff.
It was pretty freaking brutal.
Not as brutal as the CG arm, but pretty brutal. What in the world? So
I'm going to
unnecessary.
pull back up and screenshot that and put it on Facebook. It's like, your arm shouldn't do that right there.
It's just so not good.
Yeah, I know.
That's the what the show has given me a lot is like, God, they give me 80-90% of something good only to just take a wet dump on it with some just ridiculous thing, It's reminded me of another show we have to podcast soon. But I just, overall the episode was pretty solid. Did we move the needle much? Again?
A little.
A little. The Galindo stuff is huge. Because if he actually does have to stay in jail over the border, then that's a problem.
No, there's no doubt.
Somebody's going to run things from the other side. You know what I mean?
And thus creates dissension and
there's going to cause
second guessing and
the beef between Emily and the advisor guy.
correct.
God, why don't we know his name?
I know it, man.
That's so weird.
Can you name a new biker yet?
No. No.
I know it, man.
I know Chucky better than I know any of these people.
Yeah, well, we've got years of Chucky,
But I'm just saying, once again, the episode's fine. And that's unfortunate. That's like how this whole season's gone for me. It's fine.
Yeah. If it would just clean up some minor details, stay away from a few cliche things.
Oh my God, a lot of cliche things.
We would teeter towards a really solid FX show. Really, really solid.
Kurt Sutter has made wonderful shows. Excellent shows. Like beloved shows. I've never watched a single episode of The Shield.
And that's one of the best ones ever.
But I know people adore the show.
Dude,
And I've
the
seen
Shield
every
was the
episode.
beginning. The Shield was the beginning.
I've seen every one of Sons of Anarchy. I love it. I loved it. He is more than capable of creating excellent shows. This is not meeting his potential, in my opinion.
It's just a slow burn, in my opinion. That's how I describe it. The burn is there. It's just slow. I think people, you got to understand, I think it goes back to the whole deal of is that you see bikers, you see this, you want to feel like you're watching Jax Teller, Chibs, and all of them like that and so on, and we're not there yet. We're just not.
I understand that.
But 6 episodes in, You feel like you should be farther along in the episode, not farther along in the attachment to characters.
In the attachment, that's the thing.
Right, and so on.
Further along in the attachment, I am not remotely attached at all to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's
Like, bottom line is,
stuff with
if somebody
people.
died in the next episode, one of the people that we've been seeing the most stuff like that, how devastated would you be?
I'm not going to be devastated for anybody.
Exactly. That's my point.
But what will be devastating is if they were to kill off one of the characters that I find enjoyable.
Yeah. Right now, the show would be dead to me if they killed Angel off next episode.
If Angel dies this whole season, just throw it down the toilet as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. So to me right now, Angel's the number one character.
Well, he fits the bill better than anybody else.
Right. And the dialogue and the stuff they give him, I love. Minus his gangster walk.
Which has gone away.
Yes. Thank Jesus.
Mostly. You know, he's got a little limp to him, but not like that. I don't know. I just... You cannot come into a show without expectations. There's no way you can.
Especially when it's a continuation of something you've already been watching for 6 years.
You're a human being. You're going to come into it. It's like, I'm a massive fan of the original Predator movie and Predator 2.
Yeah, when they're good.
Other movie that they've come out with Predator stuff, it's like you have the expectation and weight of the original movies weighing on you.
Correct.
There's nothing you can do about that. And anybody that goes to see them is going to compare them to those.
Yeah.
So every Sutter show since The Shield was going to be compared to The Shield. And I don't remember what he had between The Shield and Sons of Anarchy. But
it was Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Bastard Executioner, and now we're on to Mayans. Those are his series of FX shows.
Right. And people would probably argue which is better, Shield or Sons of Anarchy. Like I said, I've never seen Shield. I know people love it. So it's like, fine. I don't know which one they would say was better.
Ooh, Vic Mackey versus Jax Teller.
Okay, well, you're talking about Vic Mackey, but I mean, there was other characters in the Shield too that you
well,
liked.
Here's the thing you need to understand is that any true Sutterphile, I love to put that out there, anybody who's true to Sutter, is that you need to understand is that Sons of Anarchy plucked the best from the Shield, which was the original, over to it to make it what it is.
He's very loyal, it would appear.
Oh my gosh,
to his actors.
I'm just waiting until we see these guys show up in the new series now.
No, I mean, we didn't even talk about it yet, but final scene.
Oh yeah, what was it? Lincoln Potter is his name, is the DA.
Yeah.
You know, of course, this is post Sons of Anarchy, so this is him back. Which he was a terrible person in Sons of Anarchy.
Awful.
So
this was not one of the characters I wanted to see come back.
This was one of the biggest surprises to see him come and play. I don't see how he even they're going to have to do a really big bridge and do it well for him to be able to see why he's in this mix, because his entire thing was a RICO case on the Sons of Anarchy. You know what I mean? And so.
But his RICO case was messing with the other cases, and that's why his got thrown out, right?
Correct. So I'm very curious to see how his form of justice is going to fit into this mix.
But now we got DEA and FBI are going to clash again.
Oh yeah,
again.
But see, it's repeating. It's recycling. You know,
massively recycling.
That's why I said Emily can't just go and be Easy's woman. It can't be Tara 2.0.
But Jesus, don't let her be boss to the cartel either.
I don't think she has a lot of options.
Yeah, but can't you easily see how a cliche would make it Adelita versus Emily?
Oh, yeah.
So easily.
Train wreck.
Train wreck. I got to throw up in my mouth a little bit. It's awful.
Because Adelita carries, Emily doesn't. It just doesn't work that way.
Like I said, it all comes back to everyone has expectations. Correct. I am coming off of the last thing I watched of Sutter, which was Sons of Anarchy. Y'all watched Bastard Executioner. You didn't hate it, apparently, but it wasn't.
No, I'll tell anybody, and everybody knows it. The first 2 or 3 episodes of Bastard Executioner, I was dogging it. I thought he tried to go way too far one way, some CG stuff. But by the time he got to the 3rd and 4th episode and everything gelled together, it turned into one of my favorite series. I hated it only lasted for 1 season. But the problem is that he went completely unique. You know, he created that in the era of when Game of Thrones was just getting super, super hot.
You can't. Now you're facing the expectations of competing with the best show on television.
Correct. And so you do that, and he was trying to do his own form. And sadly, the characters he chose to bring back from Sons of Anarchy and other shows that he's done, he put them in places that didn't work. The biggest thing,
Bill from True Blood being the bad.
Yeah.
He's not intimidating nor scary.
And then nothing against Katie Seagal, but she had no business playing the witch. Or, the whatever you want to call it, because the wig they gave her and all that stuff, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And so it struggled with those parts. Now, I love the new lead. I love some of the other guys they put in there. The guy from The Americans they brought in, and he was in there and did great. I love the maps on the skin and everything they did with it. Like all that really cool, intriguing stuff that you could tell was awesome. Even Ed Sheeran did a good part in the movie, in the show. And so if you can put Ed Sheeran in there and does a decent job, all right, you've done something well. And of course, Sutter was in the movie himself. It was a Templar Knight. So I mean, like, it was great. All that stuff was great. He just some of the chess pieces that he put in place didn't gel well, and I think the audience just couldn't go with it. Again, it was competing with Game of Thrones
and Vikings.
Yeah,
there's just
it was different worlds
and Outlander.
True.
Okay, I mean that's not the one I watch, but period piece.
Correct. I don't know.
Especially in any kind of like medieval battle-ish time and stuff like that.
I think if Vast Executioner had been given a second season, it would actually increase its viewership because it was steadily growing. It just didn't have the high enough numbers, as far as I could tell, to maintain it. It was unfortunate, but
whatever.
If you have never seen Shield, if you're watching Southern and you've never seen Shield, I dare to say it is one of the top 5, maybe top 10 TV series of all time ever created. And it was what put FX on the map for the ones that went ahead and became past the normal line of acceptability of television. It was the lead series to do it.
They were one of the originals to actually allow certain types of violence.
This Shield was the first one to allow a true gruesome murder, an actual showing of rape, true nudity, sex scenes on a regular cable television. Yeah. Well, this was the first one to blur those lines without it being a page channel, and pave the way for others to do it.
What's crazy is there is no blurred lines. Cable television is allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
Correct.
FX, the History Channel, AMC, all these channels. If it's a paid channel, they can say what they want, they can show what they want, they can do whatever they want. The only reason they don't is for advertising.
Correct.
And that is it. Now, you see, and because of things like Deadpool and Logan, R-rated is what people want because R-rated is the realest version of anything you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
Anytime you water it down in any form or fashion, everyone can tell.
Oh yeah,
now not every story is a rated R story.
Exactly.
But if it's a rated R story that you try to make PG-13,
a great example, an absolute great example. I know you hadn't seen it.
Venom.
Venom.
Yeah.
Okay, Venom just came out. Almost 2 hours of movie. They cut it 41 minutes of away, and they cut it down to where it turned to PG-13, and that's what absolutely hurt the movie. Now, it's killing at the box office, but anybody who's a true comic book person or who enjoys realism and this, that, or so on, Venom deserved to be a rated R movie, and if it had been, it would be even bigger box office.
Right. I feel like Mayans is trying with certain violence they're showing. The problem is all their violence is CG, and they just throw the F-bomb in like constantly, like to just be like, yeah, we push the limits and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it. Like, I have no problem with the F word. I cuss like a sailor, but I'm just saying, like that's all you got. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like, just show me something. Show me something original and new, not just, hey, we say cuss words. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not enough.
Well, you think about it, the best parts of the series so far are the things we don't never expect. Like the kill squad for Adelita, Pops, and things he's doing, and these are things that are new, original, we've never seen before, and those are the best parts of the show and stuff. So I'm waiting to get some of those things that involve.
The problem is, 90% of the show is cliche. Even some of the good stuff is still is
Been there, done that.
new. Been there, done it, seen it 1,000 times.
Right. And it's going to be tough, man, when you're doing a biker show like this. Is that
Well, it's going to be hard not to tread on Sons of Anarchy ground.
Exactly.
But the thing is, it's a Sons of Anarchy spinoff, so tread on it, but tread in in areas where it's not beaten down to a pulp.
Absolutely. Guys, as always, if you want to talk with us and so on, we get emails, we do Facebook, we do all that social media, Twitter. It's all Bleed TV Podcast at Gmail, on Twitter, on Facebook, the whole 9 yards. We're on Spotify, YouTube, if you hadn't got a chance. And you're listening to us, we really appreciate it. If you've had a chance to listen to us several times and you enjoy the pod, we always appreciate it if you have an opportunity to go to iTunes or your favorite podcast app and give us a positive rating. It really, really helps us and helps promote the show. But I think we're just going to call it a night on this one. We really, like I said, I know some things we talk about seem pretty heavy-handed or some negative this or so on, but the show is good. We do enjoy it. I guess it's just come down to the bottom line is that we have high expectations for Sutter because of what we've seen in the past, and we're hoping we reach that. And I hate that 6 episodes in, we feel like we're still thirsting for something more, but that's just the way we feel. And but I feel like next 4 episodes, I feel like things are going to start to materialize. And we're going to get that satisfying taste at the end.
Has Mayans been given a second season?
Yes, it has already been approved for a second season.
Okay. All right.
So that's big news, and we're excited for it. So, as always, guys, never hesitate to talk and let us know. But we're going to call it a night. This is Bleed TV, and I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
We'll see y'all next week.